Today's guest is one of New York's Yankees infielders from the mid-'60s, and a lot of you probably heard the story of the harmonica incident on the bus with Yogi Berra and the confrontation. But let me tell you, New York Yankees don't have tryouts for harmonica players. If you're playing for the Yankees, you got to be pretty damn good. He was on the 1962 World Series champs. He was a shortstop, starting shortstop on the 63 and 64 New York Yankee teams, and went to the World Series. Also, Phil was telling the story about in 1962 and 63, he played for Ralph Howe. And then in 1964, we had the incident with Yogi Berra, where they took over and went from there. Yogi got fired, and they brought a guy in from St. Louis by the name of Johnny Keane. And he brought a different style of baseball because they used to platoons. And he mentioned this story that Roger Maris was playing, and what was it, a pinch hitter? Yeah, they needed a pinch hitter, so Johnny Keane brought in Phil Linz in the third inning to pinch hit for Roger Maris, and the Yankees said, boy, things are a little bit different nowadays. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, he has never, ever been to Iowa. We're very happy for his presence coming all the way from New Jersey, New York, world champion Phil Linz.
Thank you, Charlie. I can hear you. Yes, I was one of my feats. The pinch hit for Roger Maris is one of my stories. That I was so embarrassed that I even dropped the pinch hit was in the third inning. But the reason I'm here, I guess, is because of the harmonica incident. And this is the first
World
time.
champ.
World champion. Yes, I never did play regular, so I always used to tell Ralph about playing the keeper. For a while, I played 4 years. I like that song you guys play. I'll show you about my harmonica when I play the next time you see that song. In fact, if anybody's got a harmonica, I'll play Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm treated so kindly by Charlie and his friends. And one of my biggest thrills was just playing for the New York Yankees myself. I came from Waterloo. My father was a big Oriole fan. And when I made the Yankees, he used to come to the games and actually rooted against me because he was such an Oriole fan. One day in Baltimore, it was on my birthday, it's a true story, he and my mother were sitting behind the Yankee dugout, and it was my birthday, it's 1963, and I hit a ball into the stands that bounced off the dugout, and my mother caught the ball. That's a true story. And my father sent a postcard into the show in New York at the time called I've Got a Secret. And he sent a postcard telling the story. They had myself and my mother for the 63 World Series time to be at I've Got a Secret. And then the unusual things, the only thing that happened to me was outside of baseball. And the harmonica incident was probably the highlight, the reason why people still remember me. But my thrills were the fact that I was able to make the Yankees. I was never the best player on my team in high school and also the minor leagues. And my greatest aspiration was to play for the Yankees. So I'm thrilled to be part of this wonderful organization you have called the Yankee Pinstripes. And they have my number here too, number 34, which is thrilling for me too. So anytime you want to invite me back, I'm glad to come. And I don't know if you want to have time to hear my harmonica story, but I'll speak very briefly about it. Whereas I was playing harmonica on the team bus, and we had just lost a doubleheader to Chicago. It was put 6.5 games out of first place, and we were in the bus going to Boston, and I started trying to play the harmonica with the music sheet with Mary Had a Little Lamb. So I was trying to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I hear down in front. And I was sitting right in the middle of the bus with Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, and Bill Stockmeyer, Al Downing. I know Al's been here. Pepitone, Jim Bowden, and we all those kids around the middle of the bus. So when I was starting to play the harmonica, Yogi called down. He said, "Shut that harmonica up here, it's going to wear." And I turned to Mickey Mantle and I said, "Mickey, what did he say?" And I think he said, play it louder. So I played it louder, and the whole story started. We're running from the bus, running at me. I threw the harmonica to him. He threw it back at me, whizzed past my ear, hit Jeff Pepitone in the knee, and he went down like he was like he got shot in the leg. And then the next day, the boss, I went to the manager's office and apologized to Yogi, and we shook hands, and I said it was disrespectful for me to do that. And he says, well, he says, Phil, all the writers are on the bus. He says, I got to find you because of the writer. So he said, how's $250? So you're a manager. He says, okay, $250. So the next day, Yogi finds Linz $250. Then during that course, about 3 weeks, people in the stands were singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. They were throwing harmonicas on the field. And they were singing. Every city we went to, I was getting all kinds of harmonicas in the mail. And it was in all the papers. It was like war headlines in all the papers for a long time. So 2 weeks in a row, everywhere we went. And then our harmonica company called me, the Marines had harmonicas. And they gave me $10,000 to endorse their harmonicas. So I made it out there, and then if you ever have a 65 Yankee yearbook here, on the back of that yearbook is, it's got me in my uniform with bat, and I'm playing a harmonica, and it says, play it again, Phil. So if you have one, I'd like to sign it. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me come here. I was treated like $1 million, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.